Good morning everyone! This week we'll start building towards something quite special that I will inevitably regret because the amount of research involved is quite frankly maddening. Regardless, we'll be starting off by looking at a single component of something much greater, the Muramasa. The Muramasa is a long, blue-tinted sword that can be found within the dungeon of Terraria, inside gold chests. It is a fast, relatively strong weapon for the time when it can be found, but still can't really compare to later weaponry. The blade has a longer reach than most swords, possibly as compensation for its poor knockback potential, and also gives off a slight illumination when swung. Contrary to some people's beliefs, the Muramasa is not actually a unique weapon. It's a name reflecting the type of sword rather than an individual blade. Although many items in Terraria mirror those of our own world somewhat, the Muramasa does this to a greater extent, as historically there was a swordsmith named Sengo Muramasa from 16th century Japan, who forged long, especially sharp blades, similar to those seen in Terraria, that took on his name. Although almost nothing is known about the Terrarian variant, its real-world counterpart can potentially shed some light on its origins. As the blade was favoured by samurai, it is logical to assume that Muramasas were utilised by the shinobi contained within king slimes, and initially crafted in the empire that they were native to. Another real-world aspect of the sword is that they came to be considered as cursed katanas. It may be that some attempted fusions between shinobi and slimes actually failed, leading the warrior to be digested inside the slime. Despite this failed symbiosis, the samurai's spirit may have been captured within its cursed blade and then discarded by the slime. Some stories state that the fallen warriors' comrades recovered these swords and locked them away within golden chests, a fitting coffin for a brave warrior, and laid the spirit to rest within the dungeon. Even though their fusion did not succeed, the slime hosts would still be drawn to their deceased masters, and they would be given the key to the golden chests that contain the Muramasas. As such, these large slimes that roam around the dungeons would become almost guardians to their fallen warriors. This would mean then that it might be the spirit of the shinobi contained within the sword that is causing the illumination when it's swung. It might even be that this spirit is what keeps the sword perpetually sharp without having any maintenance done to it. Because of the extremely limited information surrounding the item, the provided explanation is beyond speculation, and should not really be accounted for when assigning rating. To this end, we can see that while it is an effective weapon early on, it is soon outclassed, and is not really that hard to find once you know where they dwell. Because of this, the Muramasa has been given a relatively low artifact rating of noteworthy. Yeah, so a daikatana with a fun story and not much else, who would have thought? I would recommend checking out the information around the real world Muramasa though, it's actually pretty interesting. Other than that, subscribe for more of this lecture series, and as always, consider becoming a patron if you want to keep a roof over my head, because this job, as you know, don't pay much. Have a good week, I'll see you all next time.